YouTube, it's Grace from Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Monday, January 15th, and I wanted to make a video today talking about my experiences on the 2-week full liquid diet that my surgeon, my program requires. Most programs require some form of a liquid diet after surgery, and so I want to talk a little bit about what my program required and some of the things and tools that I utilized during this process, since tomorrow is my 2 weeks post-op appointment with my surgeon, and that's when I'm taking my diet advancement class, so I'll get to start eating food soon. So I've got my requirements here, and again, every program's a little bit different, so definitely don't take anything that I say as law. Make sure you're following whatever program your surgeon has in place, but I think a lot of these requirements, at least for this part, are pretty similar. So my program wants me to be drinking protein shakes. I started drinking water the day of surgery within a couple of hours, and then protein shakes starting the following day, so the day after surgery. And then after that, they want me to drink, the idea is for me to drink 2 ounces of protein shake for every hour I'm awake, and they kind of assume a 16-hour wake period, so 32 ounces of protein shake is sort of their idea, to get at least 88 grams of protein, and then a minimum of 4 to 6 ounces of water every hour as well, to get me to that point. I've had no problems personally drinking. I've actually been able to drink more than I thought I would, so I don't have, even just small sips, like I can take pretty big sips and I'm totally fine. I'm definitely not gulping, but drinking has been a lot easier for me than I was expecting. I know that's not the case for everybody, but I've had, so since day 3, I believe, day 3 or day 4, I was hitting a minimum of 75 ounces a day of water and hitting 80 grams of protein. So in addition to protein shakes, and they have, my program gives me guidelines on like how much protein should be, like the calories, all of that stuff. Their guidelines for a protein shake are 160 calories or less per serving, so really per 8 ounces, 20 grams or more of protein per serving, less than 10 grams of carbs per serving, and less than 5 grams of fat per serving. So they give you those kind of guidelines so that you can find whatever powder works for you. Then, of course, they want you to be drinking water, and they give me a list, so this like long list right here of water, flavor, calorie-free, caffeine-free, non-carbonated beverages. So, you know, things like Crystal Light, adding lemon or lime juice, the Mio, Powerade Zero, sugar-free Kool-Aid, the Hint waters, all these kinds of things. And then they also talk about the kinds of broth. So pho broth, wonton soup broth, or miso soup broth, all this kind of stuff. And then in addition to broths, water with flavors if I want, and protein shakes that meet those requirements, I can also have, for this liquid stage, light or plain yogurt, no chunks or fruit pieces, light or plain Greek yogurt with no chunks or fruit pieces, soups that are specifically come from my program. They have like a little store, and they have like those protein soups and broths and stuff. They don't really want you to be getting just like necessarily just buying like cream-based soups, etc. from the store, just because they don't think they're that great for you, at least in this 2 weeks. And then sugar-free pudding with added protein powder, and sugar-free Jello with added protein powder. So they really want to make sure anything that you're consuming does have protein in it, with the exception, of course, of water. So those are kind of my my requirements. There are some additional things. They don't want me to take any kind of fiber supplements during this time. They give some additional flavoring additions for protein powder, so if you want to mix things in, they let you know what you can have there as well. So I just thought I'd start with a few things that have worked for me. So the first thing that I've really liked is this Unjury chicken soup flavor. I kind of expected it to not taste great, but while I was at my pre-op, there's a pre-op class that they require, they actually mixed up some samples, so they had like a protein pudding and then this chicken soup, and it's actually really good. Like it tastes like chicken soup broth, so actually it was pretty tasty. It's got 21 grams of protein for 1 scoop, which is like 8 ounces of water, 0 fat, less than 1 carb, 770 milligrams of sodium. And then they have, you know, like it has other stuff as well. So let's see if I can. I don't know if that focused, but yeah, those are the stats. So it's pretty good stats. It's pretty tasty. The one annoying thing about this is that it you can't heat the water too much, or else it can curdle or kind of get chunky, which is actually fine on this liquid thing, like if there's chunks, but it's, you know, kind of gross. So you have to only heat the water to 140, which is fine. It's still warm, but it kind of sucks because I drink, you know, I sip on this over the course of like 30 minutes to an hour. And by the time you get to that point, it's cold, right? Because it doesn't start as high as you'd like. So that's really the only downside, but it's really nice for a savory kick. And somebody on Instagram actually recommended mixing this not with water, but heating up chicken broth or some kind of broth and mixing with that. And it kind of amps up that chicken broth flavor. So that was really good. The next thing, of course, is, so I'm talking about kind of just the protein stuff right now, is Premier Protein. So I mean, everyone knows the stats really. That's 30 grams of protein, 160 calories, 5 carbs, 3 from fiber, 1 from sugar, and 3 grams of fat. They're pretty amazing. I mean, 11 ounces, lots of protein in there. The first few days after surgery, I did not like them at all, especially the caramel one. And even now, so now I can handle all of them. So I really like the chocolate's my favorite, then vanilla, then caramel. And that was my ranking before surgery as well. But the caramel, I could barely stomach it. I mean, my stomach was fine, but just the taste was so chemically and sweet. It was not good. That was just the first few days. Now it's fine, but the caramel still isn't my favorite. And even before surgery, it wasn't my favorite. I much prefer it if I mixed in with coffee, and I'm not drinking coffee right now. But I think if I can mix it with that coffee again, it kind of dilutes it a little bit. That's good. But I've been liking the Premiers. I still drink about 1 a day just to get in that 30 grams of protein, and it's been really convenient for when I go out. So on Saturday, I went to a weight loss surgery support group, and I brought this with me, and today I went and met a friend who's doing the Whole30, so she can't really eat much either right now. So we just got tea, and I had this with me. So it was just a quick and easy thing to grab. And they were on sale at Costco this weekend, though. I went to Costco to stock up, and it was a big mistake because the head hunger hit me hard, and I can't eat anything. All right, next are protein, shakes. So in addition to mixing the Premier Protein, I also mix at least, 1 to 2 other shakes a day. I've been trying a lot of powders, so I saved a lot of samples. I bought a lot of samples, and then mixed them for the first, few days after surgery. My favorite, and I ended up buying a big old tub of it, is the this one. It's huge. So it's the Syntrax Nectar Sweets, and this is the flavor of chocolate truffle. I also tried the vanilla bean and the cookies and cream, and I liked both of those a lot as well, but I figured I just needed one, and chocolate is a good versatile flavor to add things to. I might eventually buy the vanilla bean. Still on the fence on that one. But the stats for this, so they do their nutrition and information by a 1/4 scoop. So a 1/4 scoop would mix with 2 ounces of water. That's kind of cool for this period because they've been wanting me to do 2-ounce servings, drinking it in 2-ounce portions, but I just usually mix a full shake and then sip on it. So for a full scoop, I'm going to just quadruple it in my head, and hopefully I can do that. For a full scoop, it is 100 calories, 0 fat, 0 carbs, 23 grams of protein. So definitely not a bad option. And it's interesting when you think about it, these Premier Proteins, everyone's like, they're so great, 30 grams of protein in 11 ounces. Yeah, that's amazing. But this is 23 grams of protein in 8 ounces. So if I mix this, if I mix a 12-ounce portion, that is over 30 grams of protein for about the equivalent. So again, these are a great option and great on the go, but when you compare how much it is, these protein powders actually are a little bit better. And I love the taste of this. This tastes really good. My programs, like I said, they have a little shop. They really like the Nectar the Syntrax brand and the Nectars. So they have a ton of little sample packets of the regular Nectars and the sweet ones. They're pretty cool. They do a lot of testing. So whenever there's like a new, something new, all of the nutritionists and the dietitians and the, psychiatrists and all the people, they do taste tests. So they mix it with like almond milk, water, milk, and they taste them themselves to see which ones they like the best, and then those are the ones that they carry in their store. So it's actually like really good, like things that they really like the taste of. And so far everything I've tried there has been really great, and it's got good stats. So I don't feel like I'm being like sold something like because like the hospital gets a kickback or something. They might, but the stuff I've tried is actually all pretty great. So yeah, this one's my favorite, and I mix it with depending on what I want, or what I'm feeling for the day. I really like this unsweetened vanilla almond breeze. This is great because it's super low carb, low calories. So for 1 cup, so that's the 8 ounces I mix it with, it's 30 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 1 carb, less than 1 gram is from dietary fiber, and 1 gram of protein. So not a lot of protein, but not a lot of carbs, not a lot of calories. So this is really great. I think I'm going to be doing this probably longer term. I really like the vanilla unsweetened. So it's unsweetened, but it does have this a bit of vanilla-y, so it kind of adds a bit of rounded out flavor. And then sometimes I do with that, and sometimes I do it with this Fairlife Milk. So my sister picked this up for me. I asked for 1%. They were out, so she got me 2%. It's still pretty good. So for a cup of this, it is 120 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 6 carbs, 6 of those from sugar, because lactose, and 13 grams of protein. So my program actually prefers that I mix my drinks right now, my protein drinks, with milk, because they want me to be getting those extra calories and that extra protein from the milk. So I kind of alternate every other day. This is great. I think the almond breeze is probably what I'm going to try to be doing like more long term when I'm being a little bit more concerned about calories and keeping those low. Right now, the Fairlife is good because my program, because I'm getting so few calories in, they actually want me to be using the milk. And yeah, it's good. The milk's a little bit richer, so depending on what I'm feeling, it also depends on what else I'm eating for the day or what else I've got on store. So let's see. So that's kind of my protein things. The other thing I don't have with me that I have been doing is egg drop soup. So you can make your own. I have not made my own. I should. I think I might do that later on. But I haven't because I found a really great one that I like a lot. Egg drop soup can totally vary depending on where you go. I went to one place and it was like really gelatinous. I think they must have added extra gelatin. Not what I was into, but there's this one that was just like the best broth I've ever had in my life. Anyways, I've been doing egg drop soup. It's pretty high sodium, but right now it's not a concern. And actually, I know some people have issues with getting enough sodium, so that hasn't been a problem, but it's really delicious. And in addition to egg drop soup, I also have been doing some chicken broth. When I went to Costco, they had a chicken noodle soup, like a 1 pound thing of it, and I just kind of strained the broth out, and that's been really good. There are actually really very few noodles in there, so what I think what I'm going to do is actually toss the noodles and like save the chicken and like soft celery and carrots, and I might like puree that up for puree if I do pureed stage, because it looks really good and I don't want to waste it. So yeah, those are kind of the shakes, liquids, proteins that I've been doing. So the other thing that I've been enjoying is yogurts. And my diet today wants us to do it in no more than 2 ounces at a time. I don't think I've even done 2 ounces. I usually do 1 to 1.5 ounces. I probably could eat 2 or more. I don't know how much my max is. But I'm not hungry right now. All it is the only time I really do this is sometimes I just need to eat something, the head thing. So I'm really liking the Fage yogurt. I like this pre-op as well. I usually get the 2%. The 0% is also good though. and that's all they had in this size. I like these. It's cool because they have like a little lid on them, so you don't have to like use the whole thing at once, and it's delightful. So the stats on this for a cup, and I'm eating like an ounce and a half, but for 1 cup, it is 130 calories, 9 carbs, 9 from sugar, and 23 grams of protein. So pretty good. So what I've been doing mostly with this one is when I want something savory, because I just get in those. Oh, I forgot to bring it. But I've been mixing that with garlic salt. So just to taste a little bit of garlic salt. And sorry, this is kind of annoying me, but it's freezing in my apartment right now. So I've been mixing that with garlic salt. It kind of tastes like a real low budget garlic dip, and I've just been eating that with a little spoon. But it gives me a bit of that savory taste that I want, because this is a little bit too sour on its own to just eat plain for me. But with the garlic salt, that kind of gives it something more palatable. I haven't done this post-op, but I did do it pre-op, is mix this as well with sugar-free pudding mix. And I know a few other people have done that as well, and it's tasted really good. I just haven't done it yet because I've had plenty of sweet things, but it might be something I do eventually. So this has been good. The other thing that I've been doing yogurt-wise is these Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurts. This one is in blackberry, which is one of my favorite flavors just in general. I tend to get like a berry or a fruity flavored one when I get these. And so the stats on these, again, I've been just doing an ounce and a half usually, but for the whole thing, it's 80 calories, 0 fat, 8 carbs, 7 from sugar, and 12 grams of protein. And I don't like the taste of those by themselves. These like low calorie things, I don't think they taste good, but they're better. They're like low calorie, that's great. And what I actually really like to do is mix it with a bit of PB2. I freaking love this stuff. It's delicious. If you don't have PB2 and you like peanut butter, it's great because it tastes like peanut butter. It's powder form, and it's got 85% less fat and calories. Or less fat calories. So for 2 tablespoons, and I don't use that much of it, but if I use 2 tablespoons, it's only 45 calories, 1.5 fat, 5 carbs, 2 from fiber, 1 from sugar, and 5 protein. So what I do with the yogurt is I mix like a berry flavored one with, depending on how much I'm eating, with a little bit of the PB2, like a half a tablespoon, and I mix it up, and it tastes kind of like peanut butter and jelly yogurt. So I think that's pretty tasty. I mix PB2 sometimes with my chocolate protein shake, though I find I need to use a lot of this to get the peanut butter flavor, and then I just rather not. But I'm excited to use this more. Before pre-op, I would mix a little bit with water and dip things like celery or whatever in it. So it's a really good peanut butter alternative, just because peanut butter can be really high calorie with the high fat content. So that's kind of basically everything that I've been eating. I've also been drinking a lot of tea, especially when I go out. So I've gone out a couple of times just to meet up with friends, and we go to a coffee shop and I get tea. So that's a really good thing. I have no problem drinking cold water or any temperature of water, so I haven't needed to heat it up. I've definitely been using a lot of 0 calorie sweeteners. I should have brought some of those over here. I have a lot of the individual Crystal Light packets, and also the Crystal Light like squeezable drops, which is nice because my main water bottle is this one. It's 25 ounces. So one of those packets is for 16.9 ounces. So I either have to doctor it or I can squeeze. Sometimes the packets are fine diluted, but some of the packets I find they don't taste good if they're diluted. I've also been using the Arizona, like the green tea packets, and there are some Jolly Rancher packets, green apple and watermelon, that I got from Walmart when I was there with my mom a few weeks ago, that are also really delightful. So I just kind of been mixing it up. I tend to alternate plain water with flavored water. That helps me give variety. It helps me remember how much I've drank. So if I've I start with one of these that's water, and then one that's flavored, and then one that's water. So then I'm like, okay, if I'm on the one that's water, I've had 3 of them. I'm usually pretty good about uploading onto MyFitnessPal as I drink or eat, but sometimes I forget. Let's see. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on, and oh my god, this video is already so long. I'm really sorry, you guys. I'm gonna be better in the future, probably. But the other thing I just want to talk about quickly is sort of not food things that have been helpful, and I didn't bring everything to my room as I should have, but the first thing are these little condiment containers. They're like, they say they hold 2 ounces. That is subjective. I found that they don't hold 2 ounces of everything. But I've been really liking them so far. I think they're going to continue to be helpful as I get into the pureed stage and I need to like go to work and like can portion things out. To start out with, I actually put all of my water in these. So my friend came home with me from the hospital and made up a bunch of them. And so I would put the protein shakes in here. So I'd grab one that was a protein shake, 4 of the water. So that was 2 ounces of protein shake, 8 ounces of water. And I'd say, okay, I need to drink this in the next hour. I found that really helped me early on because sometimes it's easy when you have a giant bottle to like forget to drink. And the visual of seeing exactly how much I needed to drink in an hour and being able to like see what I have finished really helped me to stay on track. So it wasn't until I kind of mastered that and was like, okay, I am consistently doing this, I'm drinking enough, that I moved to the water bottle. I don't think I would have been as successful at doing water right for the first like 5 days if I had tried to go right into a water bottle. So these are great. I've also used them. Oh, I forgot to mention another thing I ate was protein pudding. And I have a picture of that and a recipe on my Instagram. So again, link will be below to my Instagram. But I portioned out the protein pudding into these and it held about 1.5 ounces of the pudding. And I made the pudding with Fairlife Milk, Premier Protein, a scoop of chocolate protein powder, and the sugar-free pudding packet, chocolate pudding. But yeah, so I portioned out like 6 of those and that, and then I just have one a day. And it worked out perfectly for when I made it. I have one more that is for tonight before my diet advancement class tomorrow. So in addition to these packets, another thing I found really helpful is an immersion blender. I have an immersion blender. It was really nice to help make the pudding, and if you blend up soups that have any chunks in them. I haven't really needed to do that, but I think it'll be especially helpful in the next stage. It's cool because my immersion blender comes with like a little attachment that's basically like a mini food processor thing that is powered by the immersion blender. So I think that's going to be really helpful for me in the pureed food stage because it's a pretty small amount, or a small, it's a small thing. It's not like a big food processor, and I just need to make small batches of stuff. So that has been helpful. Another thing is I got toddler spoons and forks. I've just been using the spoons so far, but those are really nice to help me, stay with small amounts. What else have I used so far? Coffee mugs for heating up soup. But yeah, I think for the liquids, like having devices or things is not super important, but those are just some of the things that I have found helpful and that I've utilized during this process. Oh, and then completely non-eating related things. A electric heater, like a heating pad, has been delightful especially for easing gas pain, and because I have been so cold. And it doesn't help that it's winter and I've been staying home because I'm taking time off work, and our heating turns off during the day so we can save money. And it's kind of complicated to figure out how to turn it back on because it's on this like set pattern. So I haven't really been. So I've been really cold, but I've been cold outside of that time anyways, which I know after surgery you get cold, but I didn't expect it to happen already. So I've been really cold. So the heating pad's been helping, and it also helps with the gas pain. And the other thing that helped was I just got a bed topper from Costco actually. But my bed is apparently pretty hard, and I never really thought too much about it, but I'm a stomach sleeper, and when I came home from the hospital, I was sleeping on my back, and it was really painful. Like, it didn't feel nice, and I think partially because I am overweight, and just, like, the pressure it was putting on my back was not really great, and so I actually ended up having to, like, put pillows strategically beneath me so that it wouldn't be too painful. And then when I was able to switch over to my stomach again, the bed was still pretty hard, which was just, it was hard on my stomach, so that wasn't very nice. So if you have a hard bed, I might recommend looking into getting a pillow topper, because it's like sleeping on a little piece of heaven. It's actually hard to get out of bed now, but that's actually been really nice. I think something I hadn't really thought about, but was helpful. It would have been nice to have even earlier on, because I didn't get it until I was like a week and a half out. These are, the foods and the beverages really that I've been drinking and consuming this first week, or the first 2 weeks post-op, and I just wanted to make a video about it, see if that might help anybody, and just for my own records. I will be back soon with my 2-week post-op update. I actually might post this one after that one, just because I don't know if I'm gonna have time to edit this one before today, because I'm about to go see some more friends, and I want to get those ones up, the weekly updates. I'd like to get those up, close-ish to Tuesday. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing wonderfully. I know a lot of people just had surgery or having surgery coming up, so I can't wait to hear more about how you guys are doing. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.